Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'm starting a brand new series on this channel called Building Adequately, where I try to teach you guys how to build adequately. The first step of building is deciding your build palette, the blocks you're going to use to build with. Usually it's a good idea to choose blocks that you have quite a bit of, but if you are able to get a small amount of blocks and it'll look really good, go for it. But to start, we're going to be building a rectangle. I know, super interesting. And the rectangle is complete. The next step will be to add some corner posts, as walls look a lot better when they have depth. The next step will be to raise the walls. Make sure you make your walls out of a nice material that looks decent in large quantities, such as planks, and make them on top of the foundation with the intention of the whole house being raised up slightly so that you can have a more detailed floor without having to waste durability on your shovels and such. After putting in some simple oak plank flooring, we have the basic first sort of level of our house. Next, we're going to want to make the roof a bit pitched and the ceiling nice and high. However, not too high because that'll look very strange. When building in Minecraft, you always want your buildings to look supported and realistic, because even though blocks can just float in midair in Minecraft, it doesn't really look that appealing to our eye. I don't know the science of it, but it just generally looks better to have structural supports dotted around rather than random floaty bits. Unless, of course, you have a fantasy build style or something similar, in which case you may want some random floating things. So as you can see, I built some basic structural supports on the sides, and I'm going to bring the walls up to them. And I'm actually going to build a crossbeam going over each of these ending walls and fill in the rest. Now we have a nice sort of box shape. Now we will add the ceiling, and the ceiling is complete. You want to make the ceiling from the inside as well as the floor a different material from the walls. It just adds a bit of diversity to build and makes it look a bit nicer. After you have the ceiling in place, let's work on the roof. Now, for the roof, you can choose what type of style you're building in, and you may want stairs or slabs, or maybe a combination of both. It depends. So, probably one of the easiest roofs would be to you always want eaves. Eaves just look better. But probably one of the simplest and easiest roofs to produce would just be, these blocks are just here for filler blocks, to just do this, right? And this looks pretty nice, right? Nice little house roof. However, on this side, you could choose to build it with slabs for a much, much shallower angle, which I think I need to build it up a little bit higher to show you, will give it a similar sort of feel, I guess, but different sort of theme, right? This looks more like a modern-ish house, right? Forgot to fill out the roof all the way out here. Oops. See, don't make that mistake when you're building. Don't have it lopsided. That's kind of an annoying little thing. But yeah, so yeah, it kind of looks like more of a modern house, I guess. Whereas this looks more of a, I guess, classic house. I don't know. I can't really. I'm bad at coming up with house analogies. Don't really know much about the real estate agent's terms for real life houses. Just Minecraft houses, you know. But for this house, I'm going to be doing something different. Now, you can just choose one of those designs if you want. If you're following along and want to build this house, which I'd highly encourage you to come up with your own design for a house, but you can if you want. But what I am going to do... Oh, I see the problem now. Do that. Okay, that's why it looked weird. See, I built it lopsided again. Built it very lopsided because this needs to be confusing myself. This happens, but I'm going to be doing something different. So I'm going to start off with this house to be just the standard kind of stair roof house, right? And then I'm going to build it up, and I'm going to intermix it with some upside down stairs, full blocks, and slabs to give it a really interesting sort of detail. But I'm going to make sure I put pressure plates and buttons on the slabs so that, like, on any block that's like this, right? Like a full block on top, because otherwise mobs will spawn. That could be a problem. So I will cut back to that once I'm there. All right, so the basic roof design is complete. And now the detailing is complete. As you can see, I just randomly ran around and punched out holes like this in various parts, made sure that I can make the roof sag in place, kind of droop off towards the end, just generally ripped up the roof, right? Then I replaced it with a bunch of, like, I filled in the holes with a bunch of different oak bits and different types of things like spruce slabs and spruce wood planks and oak wood planks and oak wood stairs and oak wood slabs, and just now it looks like a bit of a dilapidated, rundown sort of building, right? But like cozy little cabin in the woods sort of feel, right? Now, for this part of the build, I'm just going to take a bunch of spruce planks and fill in this area, come around to the other side, take a bunch of spruce planks and fill in this area. Now I'm going to take a bunch of spruce stairs and then occasionally oak stairs. I'm going to put them under these eaves, just randomly. All right. Ooh, wait a second. Actually, since I made this part of the roof a little bit wonky, I'm going to make a sort of a strange little eave. Looks like it kind of collapsed a bit, I guess. That doesn't look right. There we go. Then, over on this side, I'm going to fill in these eaves. Make sure I got a bit of contrast. Placing oaks only on spruce and spruces mostly on oaks. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to get some fences. I'll use spruce fence just because I'm doing a minimal resources build in case you guys want to do something similar in one of your worlds. And I'm going to take oak planks. I'm going to put spruce fences. And gate might actually look better. See, I'm just experimenting here. I'm just trying new things, putting in whatever I think might look decent, right? Or actually, what about a combination of the two? Good enough, right? It just isn't anything in particular, just doing things, adding details. Let's just do that. Because now we're on the final stage of the exterior of the build, which will be detailing. And detailing, I'd argue, is probably one of the most important parts of any build. Though another important part of any build is making sure it isn't lopsided, which I just realized I didn't do. So I'm going to fix that then while I'm just talking. Okay, so detailing. B-Double-O on his channel has introduced a sort of rule of threes of sorts, in which he basically explains that you shouldn't ever have more than three, like a 3x3 area of like empty spaces on the interior builds. However, I do think that applies to the exterior builds a bit as well. If you're building an absolutely giant structure, it probably won't really matter that badly, but if you're just like building a small house like this is, then you probably want to make it like with that in mind, right? And so as you can see right now, what I'm doing is I'm sort of building a strange little, I guess, like slant right here. It looks really, really weird, and I gotta make sure I smooth it out because that just makes it look exponentially better than it would have otherwise. So, just like, oh, I forgot you can combine slabs. That's one feature I wishing would add to Minecraft right there. Okay, so now what you want here is it looks very, very, very unsupported, like it's made of paper or cards, and it'll just collapse at any instant. So what I'm doing right now is I am making sure that it has a little bit of a lattice sort of thing, I guess, kind of supporting it. And then to support the lattice, let's see what we can do to support the lattice. I guess we could have some slabs just kind of coming across, and that looks surprisingly good. Okay, so yeah, little wonky house, I guess. Yeah, so now it's time for detailing. So this build doesn't really have much room for detailing. We already did a ton of detailing on the roof anyways, which is obviously where the eye is going to be kind of drawn to, right? But I just realized based on how I built the roof, I put the doors on the wrong side of this house. So I'll do that real quick, because this looks like a better front side and it looks like a better back side, because it kind of slopes off towards the back, and it seems like something, I don't know. No purpose, just makes it look nicer. All right. So, for example, if I get dark oak, introducing a new color into the build, right? If I get a dark oak planks, I put it there, right? And then I put 2 more here, just randomly, right? 3 more here, and another 1 or 2 here, and then little L shape. There's that, and there's that. Then I take some oak and just break out. Oh, that's spruce. Take some oak and break out the occasional log, right? Oh, plank. Getting my terminology confused here. And I just a little bit of that. And ooh, completely forgot to do this side. Oops. So I'll put the dark oak in. Put that there. Oak, oak, oak. And you can already see by just adding a bunch of very random seeming blocks, just different colors, lighter and darker than the main color theme, it already looks quite a bit nicer and more interesting on the sides, right? Now, an easy way to make it look immediately nicer, if it's like a sort of rustic house build like this is to get some leaves. I'll use oak leaves because they're probably one of the most common types of leaves, depending on where you are, but there's a lot more biomes that have oak in them than, I guess, jungle, right? And just kind of make sure it doesn't look like wonky floating stuff, but just generally putting some bushes around the side of the house, which it doesn't have to look incredibly good. Just kind of spam them and then make sure nothing's floating like this, and it have this little wide base, I guess, right? But what I'm going to do here, because I want a step up, is I'm going to get stairs. Wait, no, cannot type. So I'm going to get stairs. I'm going to get mossy stone brick stairs right here, right? Or brick. Oops. Okay, again, cannot type. Actually, do we have mossy cobble stairs? We do have mossy cobble stairs. That'll look better because I'm not trying to use stone brick. I'm trying to use cobblestone, right? And I'm just going to get normal cobblestone stairs. I'm going to put that there. And then now, break that out because it looks weird. No bushes, no decently trimmed bushes are like super tall. Now it looks like the bushes are kind of growing onto this, right? Then just because I want to, I'm going to put some, nope, I'm going to put some cobblestone down on like some of the exposed blocks. Actually, I'm going to do it with mossy cobblestone because, no, must not have clicked it. I'm going to do it with mossy cobblestone because it's in the ground, and nothing is pristine when you like stick it in dirt for decades. And this looks like a pretty old build, I guess, right? So you probably want it to be like mossy, right? Because grass, right? I've never seen cobblestone or whatever the real life equivalent of it is, like in ground without it being thoroughly like interspersed with grass. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So now for the interior. The interior is kind of small, so I guess all the essentials, right? So crafting table. Want a crafting table. Right, and then furnace. Bed. There we go. Bed over here. Then storage. But don't put the storage normal, right? And also, perfect, iron bars, right? So if you have access to iron bars, actually no, I'll use fences. Spruce fences specifically. No, dark oak, because that's better contrast. So, yeah, don't put it like, so for example, make it like interesting, right? So this could be a nightstand, right? You can kind of have a sort of a dresser right here, right? And then you can have out here a mailbox. Nope. Mailbox, right? And then you can have some more barrels on a shelf right there. And yeah, maybe a potted plant or two. And now you need lighting. So an easy way of lighting is torches, which I really hope everyone watching this video already knew. But so you don't want to do it like normally. So if you have like end rods or something, then you could theoretically do something like that with the end rod, and then polished diorite is pretty easy to come by and just do that. That would look like a lamp, but it doesn't really right now for us, so we aren't going to do that. So some ways to hide lighting in builds, right? Or if not hide lighting, make it like a prominent feature. So what you could theoretically do is you could kind of make a bit of a not over the bed. You can make a bit of a, this is kind of a cramped house already, but you could where could I put it? I was thinking you make it like a bit of a sconce, but and I'll just use a slab, right? I'll put the slab there, and I'll put the torch there. Right? Looks like a little stand for putting torches. Or actually, you know, look better. That will look better. Right, so that half of the house is already lit up. I'll just do the same thing over. Wait. Same thing over here, right? Now the house is thoroughly lit. Now if you can get your hands on some paintings, right? Actually, yeah, more like that. Paintings are a really easy way to decorate builds without having to put too much effort into it, right? And then maybe some flower pots, which are pretty easy to acquire. It's just 3 bricks, right? 3 smelted clay. Put a flower pot right here, and spruce sapling. We use a lot of spruce in this build. I hope we have spruce, right? If you're copying over, I hope you're building your own unique build, just taking this advice, right? But yeah, so I think that's a completed. Oh wait, no, it's not. Doors. Doors are kind of important, especially in the harder difficulties. Yeah, I think that's a pretty completed build, right? So we built the foundation, which was just a square, right? Then we built the roof. Then we just messed up the roof. Then we built, we just put bushes everywhere, kind of extended the foundation. That's all optional. This whole thing's optional, actually. It's just my general building advice for people who aren't very good at building, or just could use a little inspiration or help, right? Then for the interior, put storage everywhere instead of in one spot. use B-dubs rule on the inside and outside to make sure there's no 3 blocks of emptiness, or in the outside's case, no 3 blocks that are alike, like not 3 by 3 area, right? Then we just kind of made things more structurally supported. That's an important one, right? So structural supports for the barrels up there, supports for the torches, supports for the roof, all that. Oh, speaking of supports for the roof, not birch. There we go. That's the support for the roof. There we go. Yeah, so I think the house is now completed. That was building a basic house adequately. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Please consider subscribing. I have noticed that a pretty fair portion of my viewers are actually not subscribed. Like, well, I don't get that many viewers anyways, but like on, I forget which video it was, on a recent video I posted, there actually, I think it might have been the Kerbal Space Program video, which I've noticed that no one really, unfortunately most of my subscribers aren't familiar with that sort of thing, and also I got some feedback that it was exhaustively long and could really use some cuts. So I'm going to drop that series for now. If you guys actually want it back, then I guess put it in the comments, right? So tell me if you guys like this new series or not, and I will decide if I want to continue it, maybe building different types of buildings, different styles, bigger, smaller, whatever. So thanks for watching. Bye.